So what is NLP? In the Middle East, they have camels, and there was this wise old man, sage, and he was travelling between towns, and he had a camel, because that's how they travel. So he's on this camel, and he's in between the towns. Guess what there is? Between this town and that town, what's in the middle? Desert. So it's very hot. They wear the white clothes, and he's travelling from place to place. And the sun was starting to set, and he looked up and he saw a light. He says, okay, I'm going to get to that light, refresh myself and my camel, and then I'll come back and have a rest and move on to the next town. And as he's getting closer to the light, it's getting darker, and then he sees the light, and there's a young boy at the well. And there's a well, and he's getting water for himself, and he looks up and he sees the wise old man. He says, oh, hello, how are you? Can I help you? He says, yeah, I want to get some water for myself and my camel. He says, oh, quick, come here. Gave him some water to the camel. And then the wise man was looking at the young boy and says, thank you so much for that, but you look a bit worried, you look a bit concerned. Are you okay? And he put his head down and said, not really. He said, my father recently passed away, and he left a will. And in those days, the will of the father had to be carried out exactly the right way. These days we can change things and do things, but back then, they had to really follow the will. He says, what's the problem? And he said, our father left us 17 camels, and there's 3 sons, and he wants us to split the 17 camels up between the 3 of us. You know, he'll give me 1/2 and 1/3 for the other brother, and then I'll get 1/9. And he said, if I do that, I'm going to have to cut the camel in half. He said, they're more valuable alive than dead. So he said, I don't know what to do. And the wise man says, I know exactly what to do. I've got a solution. He goes, really? Yeah. So he says, can you come and speak to my family? So he took the wise man to the family, he goes into the house, and in the house there you could hear some noise. And he walks in and sees the 2 other brothers sitting there arguing with the mother about what we're going to do about the will, we're going to do this and do that. And he goes, I've got someone that can really help me. He goes, oh, who is it? Tell me. He says, what I'll do is, he says, you've got 17 camels, so one boy has to get 1/2, the other one has to get 1/3, and the other one has to get 1/9. So, and you've only got 17 camels, so that's not going to work. You don't want to chop a camel in half. So he says, what we'll do is, I'll just loan you my camel. I'll give you my camel, I'll loan it to you, then you've got 18. So now, half of 18 is 9, then 1/3 of 18, 6, and then 1/9, 2. So how many camels is that? 17 camels. So they say, oh, it's only 17, we've got 18. He says, yes, that's right. He says, I loaned you my camel, so now you give me that one back and we're all happy. I'll go on my merry way. Solve the problem. And that's what NLP is like. It's like that 18th camel that comes in, works its magic, and then it disappears again. So that's one explanation of what NLP is. It's mysterious. And I'm sure, before you came, your family said, what's this NLP? And you're thinking, good question, I don't really know. I can't really say. It's rapport, sensory acuity. It's really good, but what is it? Oh, I don't know. And it's very hard to verbalise what it is. So I'm going to give you another idea. So, who would like to go home? Because tonight I know when you go home. They're going to say, oh, how was the training? Oh, very good. Oh, big state and yeah. What's NLP? I don't know. So, would you like to have one sentence that you could just say? They say, what's NLP? And you come in and say, okay. NLP is... I say, wow, that's awesome, very good. Who would like that? Yes or yes? Yes. Yeah, okay. So, get your pens ready. I'm going to talk it out. No. When I say modelling, NLP is the modelling of excellence in ourselves first. Have you ever woken up in the morning one morning and you wake up and you jump out of bed and you feel, wow, today's going to be a great day. You have a bit of breakfast, you go, you get to office on time, the traffic was good, you feel so powerful and strong, and I feel awesome. You get to the meeting and you don't know how, but these words just came out of your mouth. You got the sale, they were happy, they said, wow, how did you do that? And you think, well, shit, I don't really know, I just did it. And you're having a great day, things go so well. At the end of the day you think, wow, I did so good today. I did that. I made that day happen. Then there are other days when you get up and it's a disaster. Nothing goes right. You sleep in, oh, quick, gotta go. You have a bit of breakfast and you get a bit of food on your clothes. Oh, God. Then you get to work and the meeting's been cancelled, you don't get the sale, and you eventually get home and you think, I hope I don't have one of those days ever again. Have you ever had that happen? Yes. Yeah. So why? One day I can be top of the world, I can perform, I can be on fire, where the other day I'm not. So when we use NLP, we're modelling the excellence in ourselves. So we start to look at ourselves and say, wow, how did I do that? Why one day I was that? And we start to improve on ourselves. We start to get better. Okay, I did this, I did that. So we start to pay attention to who I am and what's working and what's not working. Because we're all doing some really, really good things that are getting us our results now. That's awesome. We don't need to change that, but we could improve it, possibly. But there are other things we're doing that's just not working. And we have to identify in our life, in our body, what are those things that I'm doing that's creating the results and then that's not creating the results? So that's the modelling of excellence in ourselves. Just really paying attention to, I want to get health. Oh, what's that pain in my back? Okay, notice that. Was it something I did? Did I do something wrong? Or why is my stomach really tight when I go near that person? Oh, why? And there's these things happening. So we're going to learn about sensory acuity tomorrow, about observing how I feel, how I'm operating in myself, and when I can master myself and start to do things like now, we're doing things in life, they're not really working. 30% of our time, we might be doing really well. Not even that, it could be even 15. Out of 100%, 15 to 30, I'm doing really well. So the other 70%, it's just random. Some days I'm good, some days I'm not. It's all over the place. So with NLP, we want to lift this higher. We want to get 35. We want to get 40. We want to get 70. We want to start to perform on a regular basis in an excellent state. So I'm always getting these great results. Instead of just 30% of my life, I get hit and miss. Now it's 40, it's 50, it's 60, wow. 70% of my time. 90% of the time I'm on fire, I'm making things happen. Who would like that? Yes or yes? Yes, that's right. So NLP is the modelling of excellence in ourselves first. We get all mixed up. I have to work out in this area, how can I correct the order and the sequence of what I'm doing so now I'm getting the result I want instead of getting the result I don't want. So we're moving different things in our head, how to think, what to think. And that's what we're going to learn the next 6 months. It's so exciting. You're going to have the manual for your brain. It's awesome. Is that awesome or awesome? Awesome, yeah. Who would like a manual for their brain? Yeah, who's got a brain?
Yes.
Wow, very good. I'm just checking. Okay, very good. So, glad you got a brain, otherwise I'll be speaking to the wrong group. Because it's a manual for the brain. If you haven't got a brain, well, why should you be here? So, N for neuro. Our first mental map of the world is made up of internal representations from our 5 senses. that form the result of neurological filtering processes. Now, what does that mean? Now I see your eyes are all glazed over and thinking, what's that mean? Too complex. That's what I said, it's very complex. So, the 5 senses, we take all the information from the world into our mind. And then we create a map in our head of what we just saw, smelt, touched, tasted and felt. 5 senses. Now I've got a representation in my head. That's the neuro. I'm taking in all the information from the 5. See? What, 5 senses coming in. I make a picture in my head of what I just saw. That's my map. We all have a map. We're all got a different map based on how we see things. That's another story. Talk about that in a minute. So that's the neuro, the nervous system, the brain, that I'm taking information into my body. So that's N for neuro. I saw the flower, I hear you, I feel happy. So I see things, I create maps in my head and I create feelings in my body. Neuro. Self-talk, the words we use. Now, linguistic, language and other non-verbal communication systems through which our neural representations are coded, ordered and given. Meaning includes pictures, sounds, feelings, taste, touch, smells, words and self-talk. So, the words I use, very important. The self-talk I have in my head. Remember, Peter had some self-talk? Wasn't very good. Wasn't serving him. So the linguistic is how I talk to myself, how I talk to the world, how I'm communicating with verbal and non-verbal communication. So if I say like this, I say, I'm open and receptive to all good. Or I say, I'm open and receptive to all good. Which one sounds better? Looks better? Second one. Because your subconscious knows that means open and receptive to all good. Even though you consciously may not pick it up, you say something about that, Paul. When he's got his arms crossed, he says he's open and receptive to all good. And you have a feeling, it doesn't feel right. But if I go, I'm open and receptive to all good, my body's communicating to you the truth. Very important. Linguistics. So, the linguistic, that's the word, it means word, how we communicate. We communicate through our word, and we communicate through the body. So my body's sending messages. So this is open, this is closed. So if I say I'm open and receptive, the body's sending one message, and the word's sending another message. So I want to be congruent, wholeness, I'm open and receptive. So the linguistic part of Neuro Linguistic Programming is how we communicate with words, how I'm communicating with my body and my tonality. So when I communicated and we had the nice little relaxation, I was very soft and gentle, making noise. So that's communicating certain things. Very lovely. So think of an apple. Get an apple in your head. Think of an apple. Have you got a picture of an apple in your head? Got a picture? Okay. What's your apple look like? What's your apple look like? Green one. Okay, your apple. Half green, half red. Your apple. Huh? Green one. Red one.
Sweet.
Sweet. Okay. Red one. Red one. The red one. Red one. Red one. Heart. Oh, very romantic. He's in love. I'll sit next time. Very good. Very good. When I thought of an apple, you know what I thought about? iPhone. Yeah, good one. I thought of an iPhone. It's the same word, but we all have a different meaning. So we use the same words, but we have to identify what's the meaning behind the word. So linguistic is the communication, and we teach you a tool to dig deep. So when someone says apple, I know exactly what apple they're talking about. There's no miscommunication. Someone could say, oh, can you go get the apple off the desk for me? And the person thinks, okay, apple, red, green. There's no apple here. Where's the apple? I can't see the apple. There's no apple. I thought, iPhone. Because the other guy's thinking about Apple iPhone. And the other one's thinking about apple fruit. Same word, different meaning. That's how we have miscommunication. So NLP will teach us how to identify the person in front of me when they say apple. If I'm not clear by the context of the sentence, I'll ask another question. So when you say apple, what sort of apple are you talking about? Can you give me some more detail? Oh, you're talking about the apple iPhone. Ah, okay, got it. So I clarify. So that's the linguistic part. Now, programming. The ability to discover and utilize. Don't worry about that. So, who's got a computer? Who would like a new computer? We'll go buy one. Quite simple. Just go buy one. So, each computer has a program. It receives a program. We've got a computer, and it's being programmed. Some of our programs are awesome, but some of our programs are not working. Disgusting. Wrong. So we have to reprogram. When we're younger, we got programmed. When we grow up, we get programmed. If the program's not working, change the program. Do you go to your computer and put it in an Excel program, expect to get a Word document to work on? No, I want Excel. The program will only do Excel, won't do Word. So, we're the same. We've been programmed a certain way, and our parents done a lovely job. Would you agree? Yeah, parents did an awesome job in most things. So other things, maybe they weren't that good, so they programmed us a different way. Or that program, when I was younger, was good then, but now, in the 21st century, that program doesn't really work. I need to upgrade the program so I can get different results. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. 4 pillars of NLP. These are the key things. Number 1, rapport. Rapport is about